Smoke until the stupid state, stay until it's late. Sweet like chocolate cake, talk just like the shit I roll off paper plates. Search for sweet escape because inside I feel I'm dying slow. I tell you all this.
Hello cars and bids, my name is Madison and I am the Auction Dog, and today I'm making this video to present to you my 2002 Audi TT ALMS Edition. So, this is what we're working with here. This is the 2002, like I said, Audi TT ALMS Edition, and 1,000 of these cars were built by Audi in this year to basically commemorate their winning of the American Le Mans series. And there was 1,000 built, 500 of them were red with silver interior, and the other 500 were built with silver and a red interior. And I believe it's called Avis Gray Pearl, if I'm not mistaken, and I will put the paint code in the actual listing itself. But this car particularly has 3 previous owners, no accidents, and it has 65,000 original miles on it, verified by Carfax. And it's actually in very nice condition front to back. There's really very few overall exterior flaws. The one exterior flaw that we did have to repair on this car was about a fist-sized dent right here that has been repaired and resprayed, and it actually looks fantastic. The color's perfect and it blends perfectly. There is obviously the wheels are unoriginal. There's supposed to be a 9-spoke wheel on there. I want to say that these are Motegi's, but they actually look pretty good on the car and are in decent shape. There is some curbage on them, a little bit of curb rash there. This wheel's pretty clean. This wheel has a non-matching tire. That's an Ironman, and the other 3 are Falcon and Zenith. And so obviously this wheel did have a flat at one point. Go around to this side, also a Falcon, little bit of curbage there. And this wheel's pretty clean, little bit of curbage there. That's some leftover polish. Do apologize for that. And the exterior of the car is honestly very nice. There is a little bit of scratching on the rear bumper here. A little here, some down here. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of like a push there. Scratch here, scratch here. But really, I mean, other than that, like the clear coat on the top of the top of the roof looks fantastic. Overall, the car's paint is in fantastic shape. Could use a paint restoration, I'm sure, if you wanted it to be perfect, you know. And this may very well, you know, go into somebody's collection for them to be make it perfect, you know. Being that it's a low mile, 3-owner, no accident car. I want to say it was sold brand new in Colorado, and then it actually moved to Florida in 2002. So 5 years there, and then it came here, and it's been here ever since. And the bottom of the car is extremely clean. I don't think this was ever driven in the wintertime because it's spotless. And I actually put some pictures of that in the listing for you guys to see as well. The headlights are pretty clear in my opinion. They're not bad, but there is one crack in this lens here, which is pretty decent. You know, it's a pretty decent crack, you know. But that being said, no condensation ever builds up inside of that light, and I've driven the car in the rain and it's never, you know, given me a problem, so I haven't changed it. But you know, if somebody does want it to mint the whole car out, that's something to consider as well. Other than that though, she shows really, really well. Like, it's crazy actually, you know. And the car runs, drives, stops, does everything you want it to do at 65,000 miles, and it feels like a brand new car. It really does. So the only other thing that on the exterior of the car that I thought was a little odd was the fact that the antenna is not original. Obviously there's like some sort of grommet that somebody installed around this stub there. It's been broken off probably, I'm not too sure, but it doesn't leak. It's never given me an issue, so I've kind of left it to be like that. Once you go on here, I can actually, let's do this. Pop the hood, and then under here you have your boot and then also your gas door. So I want to show you that all that stuff does work here. Gas door obviously opens, your boot opens, struts are good, and then under here you do have your spare tire, the tools down there, and then also your jack, your factory jack there. So that's all good to have as well. And although it's not a full-size spare, it will, you know, be good for you and get you by. So anything else exterior wise we need to show? Nothing really, honestly. The car's pretty tidy overall. It really is. The plastics all look really good. Everything's as it should be, you know. And then under there we got our 1.8 turbo. This motor runs really good. No smoking, no, you know, weird issues with it. It runs and drives perfect. I've driven the car about 600 miles since purchasing for resale, and it's been really good. Honestly, the car's treated me very, very well, and it's been a pleasure overall to be tooting around in. And I live in Bradenton, which is about 45 minutes south of Sarasota or St. Pete, and my dad lives up there, so we've driven it over the Skyway multiple times, and it's been a treat, honestly, to have this thing around. Once we go on into the interior, you can see that everything is really, really clean overall. You know, the red leather is kind of a challenge to keep clean, and I will show you some of the flaws with these seats, but overall the car shows very well. And you know, if you were to have like if you were to have a really good detailer go into this with the proper chemicals, he may very well be able to get some of this stuff out. But I didn't really want to go too deep on this leather because I didn't want to damage the coloring on it, because it really does look good. So here's your driver door panel. Not very many markings or anything like that. I did try to scrub on a lot of this stuff, and some of it came out, some of it's a little deeper, but I only was using a Meguiar's products that's not very intrusive because I really didn't want to cause too much damage to the parts. If you go on the inside here, you can see that excuse me, everything on the interior is very, very clean. Headliner's mint, you know, other door panels mint. We'll open that door up. Steering wheel is in fantastic shape for a leather steering wheel. It's not faded, cracked, broken, none of that stuff. You know, all your pedals are very nice. Interior is very nice. No weird smells. It's just a very, very tidy car overall. And then when you look at the rear seats, there are some flaws with those as well. So the rear seats are pretty clean. You know, there is some fading and cracking up on the top there. More so a little bit of cracking up there. But then when you get to the bottom here, there's like some discoloration in the corners there, if you can see that. I don't know if somebody spilled something in there at one point, but that's the only real issue back there. Front seat, some damage there, some damage here just from getting in and out. But overall the seats show very well, which is wild. You know, being that it's a poppin' seat color, it's really hard to keep these things quite nice actually. So let's go ahead over to the passenger side. Also, this door panel is quite nice. You know, entry is all very, very nice. Got some pine needles in here. I do apologize. Parked near a tree. I thought I got all that stuff out of there. Anyways, this glove box is the only thing in the interior that's actually a little wonky. This latch here. Oh, you had to park right next to me, did you? Sorry about that. Just trying to get this freaking thing taken care of. Anyways, the only thing with the interior that's kind of wonky is the glove box is a little messed up here. And it opens like about half the time. The latch on this side gets hung up, and so I don't really mess with it too much. You may be able to fix it. There's no Audi TT parts cars around me at all, so I haven't been able to get the latches to fix that. So it does open sometimes, but sometimes it gets hung up on this side, and this latch is a little wonky too. So I haven't really been messing with it, but everything else in the interior actually works pretty well. This latch, you know, does open and close properly. The buttons on the radio are a little worn off, but the radio itself does work. Cold air, everything's right. And so the only real issue with the passenger seat is some of this black, you know, stuff on the seat here. And like I was saying, it may be able to, a proper detailer probably has the right chemicals to get it off. But the Meguiar stuff that I was using was not getting it. It just wasn't getting it. And so I didn't want to keep digging on the leather because I didn't want to freaking, you know, fade it out or cause any problems to it. And I was just figuring I'd get the right guy to take care of it. So, dash is really clean. Everything's really nice. I do apologize, I had to break the video there for a second. Somebody pulled up next to me and started talking to me. Apologies. So, let's go ahead and get in the car and go take a ride in it. And we will see. And I'll show you guys how this thing runs because it runs really good. Oh crap, all my stuff's on the floor back there. So, also, everything up here is clean. Interior lights work. Everything's as it should be, you know. All that stuff works. See, you got your seat heaters here. All the buttons are really good. The gear shift works. E-brake works. Locks work. Everything works on the inside of this car. There's really no flaws with it overall. And then the only real flaws with the interior, obviously, the glove box latch, the Audi radio is a little faded, and then also some pixelation issues with this readout here. All the cluster does work. There's no lights in the dash for anything, no errors, no nothing whatsoever. But there is a little bit of an issue with the pixelation there, and I'll show you guys that in 1 second. So let me go put my license plate back on this car. So before I break with you guys and I get this car running, if you do ever have any questions about the car, please feel free to ask. Send me a message, drop a comment down below, and just kind of let me know what you guys want me to take some additional pictures of. If you guys have any questions about the car, the history of the car, I will answer anything I can just to help you guys, you know, feel good about the purchase. And whoever does end up taking this thing home is going to be really pleased overall with it, because for a Mark 1, you know, Audi TT, this thing's, it's great. It really is. So I'm gonna get this plate back on my car. We're gonna pack back up, and I'm gonna take you guys for a ride so you can see how this thing runs. All right. over here. Get my keys out. So, as you can see, air blows nice and cold, honestly. Radio works great. If I put it to a radio, this is my Bluetooth stereo station. Radio works great. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a pixelation issue here. You can still read it slightly, but it really is a little bit of, I mean, it's just kind of faded, obviously, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but apparently that is very, very common on the TTs. It has 65,600 miles on it, verified, no tamper dot, goes right in line with everything on Carfax, so you can believe that it's true mileage for the car, which is really, really nice and quite low for a TT of this year. So, let's go ahead and take a quick ride in it. Both windows do work. Oh. Kind of hard to drive manual, check windows, and film myself at the same time, so there you go. There you go. Sorry, I was pressing it back up. And so, car does run and drive impeccably, honestly. Both the mirror adjustments do work, as you can see. So the car really doesn't have any electrical flaws. There's nothing that's bad about it, nothing that doesn't work, you know? You still have your ashtray that's never been smoked in, which is quite nice as well. I just had that out for my Bluetooth as well. But everything in here works, it's all tidy, it all is as it should be from the factory. And you can buy with confidence knowing that you're really getting a well-preserved TT, honestly. And so we'll go over here. This road's a little faster, and get it up to speed. Let's do it. Oh, turn your car. There you go. Second gear pull. Pulls all the way to 50 very, very nicely. The car's very tidy, honestly. And it runs and drives perfectly. I've put, like I said, you know, about 500 miles on this thing, 600, something like that, and I'm telling you, it doesn't skip a beat. It really doesn't. So I'm gonna toot back over to the house and we'll close this thing out. But remember, you can just buy with confidence. You know, you can buy this car with confidence, knowing that you are getting quite a nice TT. It has its quirks, obviously, like some stuff's worn. You know, it does show its age a little bit, but honestly, as being a dealer, I mainly focus on enthusiast cars, and I've looked over hundreds of these things, and I've never seen one that's in this kind of shape come through, you know, in front of me and me to be able to buy it. And the ALMS is quite a rare option for it, obviously. So let's get back to the house and we'll close this thing out. All right, so now we are back at my house, and honestly, anybody on Cars and Bids who watches this video or is thinking about bidding on this thing, you really are going to get quite a treat of a car. You know, it's a low miler Audi TT, and it's in really, really nice condition. Yes, it needs a couple of things to be absolutely perfect, but truly front to back, you're getting one hell of a car. And this is the first Audi TT I've ever bought. Normally I buy a lot of BMW. That's my E39 Touring. That's an M3. This is also an M3. And I tend to stick to BMW, but when I saw this car, I knew it was something special. And so I had to pick it up, and I really love to bring it back to life with fixing the dent and making sure everything's, you know, tip top. And truly this car, you know, it did bring me a lot of joy, and whoever does decide to pick it up, it's also going to bring them a lot of joy. So if you guys do have any questions or concerns or whatever else, and you guys want to request more pictures or anything, you know, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And I'll be active. I'll be checking this every single day, multiple times a day, to make sure that all you guys are taken care of. And yeah, bid up, you know, get it bought, and you're gonna be really stoked. And if you guys do need help organizing any level of transport between, you know, here or wherever it needs to go, I can also help you guys out with that too. So peace out, my dogs. Thank you guys very much for watching this video.